After nearly a decade of being on the air, as well as representing such a crucial, yet sometimes the most important time period of the larger universe, The Flash, after 9, call it mind you the quality, long seasons of television, has finally come to an end. The final season has come out, and it marks an end to the mainline Arrowverse on the CW. Hey everyone, Joe here from the Collection Company, and welcome to our Flash Complete Showcase of all the 9 seasons of DVDs that are now available right now. The final season has finally come out on DVD for purchase, and now you yourself can own the entire series of The Flash on DVD should you do so. Obviously there's the Blu-ray versions of it, and obviously there's a complete series version of it, which I'll talk about at the very end. But for now, this is it. This is the last one. This is the last DVD we will ever see. The last time we will probably see Grant Gustin play the Flash after he has done such a tremendous job playing the character for a decade. Mind you, he's probably one of those, iconic actors. Like, he embodies the role. Like, when people think of the Flash going forward to, like, the next decade or two, like, no offense to Ezra Miller, no offense to John Wesley Shipp, but, like, people will think of Grant Gustin because he totally made that character his own. Like, much of the personality and the core to Barry Allen he brought into it throughout his performance in the 9 seasons, and that was one of the more consistent things about it, mind you. And I honestly was grateful to be there from mostly watching it live from season 2 onwards, but having already known how it all started now and how it all ended, it's weird. And also at the same time, on the DVD side of things, I picked up the first season of The Flash as part of one of my very first Black Friday hauls, as part of one of my first, early DVD hunting days. And now the fact that it's over, the show is over, that, we're done. We'll never see another Flash season. It's just, it hasn't hit me yet. The show has been off the air for a few months now, and now it's just, it's weird. It's a little bit weird to talk about it. But I can talk about it a little bit more so, because here we are, all 9 seasons are now I'm going to give my impressions of each one of them and see where they all fall in line, leading up to the last one, which I have yet to really take a good look at. I just picked it up from the freaking P.O. Box, because that's a whole other story for another time. But getting down into it, the first season, season 1, the one that started it all, and for mind you, of all 9 seasons, it is the utmost perfect. It's like, of all the Arrowverse seasons, which we had a lot of. We had 8 Arrows, 9 Flashes, 6 Supergirls, 7 Legends, or surprisingly, 3 Batwomans, and 4 Black Lightnings. This series, season 1 of The Flash, is by far the most perfect. It has a really compelling story. Every episode of 23 episodes. 23 hours of television. Like, that's an entire day is nearly perfect. It's like, by far the best of the bunch. It is by far just, I think it's just been talked about a lot to death, so I'm not really offering anything new to the table, but I'm just like, it was so freaking good. Like, just the characters, Grant Gustin's performance, the villain with Reverse Flash, God, it's just so many fond memories with this season. And, the fact that season 1, poster-wise, cover-wise, okay, yeah, let's talk about that red suit. Obviously, it was in a different time period for comic book accuracy, comic book adaptation. No, we were going to go, there was a phase where, we're going super dark and gritty, and then now we're going to go into, we're kind of in the line, but we're kind of doing our own thing. And this is kind of where it falls. It is adapting the core elements of a Flash suit, but it's more different. It's more, leathery. It's more, trying to be a little bit more comfortable for the character. And of course, obviously, it's they don't want to fully get on the nose. Okay, we're not going to be a full it's not the full Flash spandex. It's going to be something more fightable, something more breathable, something more we don't have to have the white emblem. And as much as I love red, I really do, for some reason it's just way too much red for once. I'll admit that about the suit. So the cover actually embodying that a little bit more so. But then again, it's a different era. It was really cool at the time period, and this was also at a time period where you had so many special features on the DVD. It's so freaking oh my god, just so many. And I'm even at the time, even this has the Comic-Con panel where they were announcing not only a new season of Arrow, but they were showcasing Flash, they were showcasing the first season of Gotham, sadly the only season of Constantine. So just seeing the mega cast panel of 4 different DC TV shows, you had the Green Arrow, the Flash, Batman, Constantine was so freaking cool at the time period. Now obviously it's kind of it wasn't really that great, mind you speaking, but just in general, just seeing all of that was just it was really, really great. It was just obviously, one of those like moments where like that was a moment in time. So first season, definitely you got to pick up if you're a Flash fan. Really do so. And I was actually surprised like when I purchased this. Oh, it looks like an actual movie like DVD because like at the time like I noticed a lot of TV shows were kind of like a little bit more fatter, a little bit more like chunkier. With like a fat box, as I call it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's doing something else. You know what? As long as the entire show's like that, I'll have no issues. And then you get into season 2, which I'm like, God damn it. God damn, you had one job. You just had one job. Just like keep a consistency going, and you messed it up. Like already, like I was like super pissed off. Like when I got season 2 on DVD, it was like, oh man, it's like, oh, damn it. And I got mad, but I can't complain. And this was like $10. Like, keep in mind, majority of the stuff I buy on DVD is like $10, which is like super cheap for a TV show. It really is. Should they deserve more money? Of course. But for me, I'm a cheap bastard, so I can wait a while. But season 2, just in the general sense, it was such a really, really well done follow-up season. It really was. Definitely them like being a little bit more colorful, being more faithful, like slowly like we're getting to more of the fantastical side of the DC universe with the Flash going into like their version of the multiverse. And I just remember that time period, like the first time we got to really hear the multiverse. And like yes, we've known it as a concept in very minor different forms of like movies and TV shows back then, but this was the first time where like they did a fleshed out version of what a multiverse could be, where it's not nowadays where like it's literally we're getting actors, like famous actors, to play famous characters from like that you never expected before, or as well as bringing back such legacy characters from the past to come back in like the current modern day spent, such as Toby and Andrew coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home, and what Deadpool 3 is going to do with Hugh Jackman, for example, or even the Flash movie with Michael Keaton's Batman, for example. But with this take, you actually got to see the actors, just the main actors, just playing different characters, just playing their own like variants, their own like counterpart, doppelganger. Like, that was the word they used, doppelganger. And I'm just like, that was so different. That was such a different time period. And it's like it was just a showcase of the actor's abilities to like it's the character, that's a Barry, that's an Iris, that's a Cisco, but in the nuance and like getting this to the specific core, they're different. They like branch off into different personas, and it's like and the actors are just like flawlessly playing it. It's like so well done. Like I miss that era of the multiverse where like that's how it was. That's just how things were. Now it's just like either for iconography sakes or for nostalgia bait. Very rarely you get something that's like fully into like the real story of things. So I thought that to be very appreciative about that. So as well as them in the suit form and the cover wise, them giving Barry the white emblem instead of the red emblem, they changed it up. And I was like, okay, you know what, that flows well. Like it breaks up, like it gives more things for the eye to like really stare at. Like I think this is the first time where like you get to stare at the full costume, not just being a blob, so to speak. But I'm really mad about the fat box. I really am. So I was like, okay, you know what, if they continue doing the fat box, okay, let them continue, which they did. In season 3, they did follow that up with another fat box. Now with season 3, mind you, quality-wise, it was really, really great. It really was. Definitely being the third installment, the third in the trilogy, the third in the show, it's going to be the most darkest one. It's always that Ryan Trent. It's always going to be the darkest season, the darkest movie, and this one very much was the darkest movie. But they still managed to continuously refine it with how the Flash has established itself as a core show with its characters. Is just in general, its pacing, it manages to keep all that going despite, just the dark levels kind of arising a little bit. But also with just the cover itself, God, I love this. I really do. It's I don't know why, it's just something that makes everything pop out. It's such a really cool cover. It also has a ton of special features, just a ton of them. It's I think this was the first time where they had a whole promo with just so, oh my god, I'm just looking at the back of it. This is a super stack. This is a really stacked box with just a bunch of cool features. And this was the first season to have a true, a proper 4-show crossover when you had Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends all teaming up. That was such a cool moment. Just seeing the Invasion crossover was just, god, that was such a, It was such a treat back then. It really, really was. My only one critique is that with the box is that they reused the season 2 asset. I'm a nitpicker. I'm gonna always be a nitpicker, and I'm like, there was like tons of cool posters you got throughout season 3, and you reused that. Okay, fine, mind you. I won't complain too much about it. But as long as, you know, season 2 and 3 being the fat book style, I'm like, okay, as much as season 1, okay, it's not fat book. Okay, you know what? As long as you continue with this style throughout the rest of the run, I ain't gonna complain. I'll complain a little bit, but I ain't gonna complain. So long as you do that. Which, sadly, they did not do as you get into the 4th season, which returns back to the standard DVD size, which I'm like, fuck. Pardon my French. But, still, like, what was Warner Brothers' whole media division even thinking of? Like, to go to, like, oh, we're going back to, like, the season 1 style, the traditional style, which is like, why? And for some people, we forgot to mention that all of the first 5 episodes, 5 seasons of the show has been 23 episodes. Nothing has changed. There was no increase in episodes. There was no decrease in episodes. It was the exact same. So what made season 2 and 3 so damn special? And keep in mind, the special features, like, okay, you could say that, but I'm like, okay, but like, they're still the same amount of discs. So I'm like, what was the decision made about that? I really do not know, mind you. I really don't know. So mind you, I had really no idea what the hell was going on with their brain. As for season 4 itself, the cover, new suit. Oh my god, it was like, I think season 4, that suit is going to come as, like, for me personally, the best suit of the entire season. Yes, I know, they got the gold boost at the end. Yes, I know. But there's something they did with this suit, just the design, just like, you know, it was just so well done. If they just made that the suit for the rest of the series, just like adapt, just continue, give that the gold boost, it's like, I would have no complaint. That was such the perfect suit for the Flash. It is the perfect suit of the Flash TV show, in my opinion. It really is. Them changing it up because, like, again, for instance, it's been the same mold for 3 seasons. I'm pretty sure Grant was like, we're gonna switch it up. Let's switch it up a little bit. So them finally giving him a new suit and everything was such a really cool feature. Mind you, season 4, however, is when the quality started to decline a little bit. Obviously, you know, you had 3 speedster villains. You were moving to like something more methodical, more, you know, more different with the villains going into and sadly, it's just. You start to feel the stretch where, like, okay, they can no longer produce 22 episodes per season with the same quality they used to do anymore. It's just not going to happen anymore, which is unfortunate. It does suck, but, like, you know, at the end, there were some pretty cool moments. There really, obviously, of course, you can't forget about Crisis on Earth X, which I think for so many people still believe it is the best crossover, which I'm like, yes, fundamentally, it is the best crossover because it is just a crossover with the Arrowverse character. They started getting to more of the fantasia, even the more like big event moments in like the next 2 crossovers going forward. But like this one was just like such a well done crossover. It really was. And the cover wise, you know, I love it. You gotta love it. You know, still very mad they switched back to the old style after doing 2 seasons with the fat box, but you know, fine. And also just to end the trend right now, I'm already the rest of the series is just a standard DVD box, which I'm like, okay, you know what? You won me back over, Warner Brothers. Not fully. It's you still lost my respect in season 2 and 3, but I'm like, besides that, like, you know, you just I'll take the bullets there. I'll take the bullets. Now going into season 5, where season 5 was a how do I talk about this? Like, I understand. So cover wise, you got Barry and his daughter Nora running into battle. Again, you know, seeing like the daughter of the Flash definitely kind of like shook things up a little bit. Sadly, season 5 for me is the worst of the 9. That's just my opinion. I know people are gonna say seasons, any one of the other ones after this point is the worst. For me, I just did not like season 5 at all. I did not like the villain. I did not like the story. I did not really vibe into it. The suit was just like, God, like, oh my God, the suit was. What did they do? What did they do? Like, I understand they were trying to like get into more of the, you know, we're getting the comic book accuracy cow, but it's one of those things where like. Grant Gustin has a great face. For some reason, when you isolate the chin by itself, it's just a little weird. Like, I don't think they quite nailed it yet. Even the Ezra Miller version, which like is a little bit more chin-based, I don't think that they even nailed it as well. Like, he needs that little like cowl piece in the bottom. It needs to be a cowl. It can't just be like, it looks like a damn helmet. It's like how like Captain America was in the Avengers, where like that one was like, oh my God, and no wonder no one even bothers to like that suit anymore. It's a little bit more nostalgic now, but like even back then it was like, this is like kind of a weird suit, mind you. It was kind of weird. Season 5. Quality-wise, just the worst of the 9, in my opinion. That's just based on my, just my personal opinion. They did start to decrease the special features a little bit more so, a little bit down so. This was part of the Elseworlds crossover. It was just between Arrow and Supergirl, just the 3 main titular shows in the CW, which I'm like, that was pretty cool to see. It was definitely a little bit more different, mind you. A little bit more grounded, a little more control. And sometimes I like that. I like just having, like, a casual team up, even though it's technically involving, like, a multiverse, universe-defining event. So I'm like, and that led into, like, an even bigger crossover. So I'm like, you know what? Mind you to that. But, like, Season 5 suit, God, that was awful. I was very thankful they got rid of that after Season 5. They got rid of it. Going to Season 6, which Season 6 kind of was the beginning of the modern era of The Flash. There was kind of like the gold standard, the silver standard, and then the bronze standard. Where, like, I guess, not even bronze, just like the modernism where, like, you got a new showrunner, new team at the helm, just like them deciding to, like, shake things up a little bit, try to do things differently. And that's kind of where they fell in line with this season, where they weren't going to do, like, okay, Cicada as a villain, could not stretch out 23 episodes. They had to bring back Reverse Flash in the end. So I'm like, okay, we don't need a season-long villain. We can break this up, We can make it a little bit more longer form, but we can make this short as a movie. And that was possible. And that's what they did with the season. And I think, experimental-wise with that new format, I think they did extremely well in the first half. I don't think it was a strong repeat in the second half, mind you. The new suit was really, really good. I like the textures on it. I like the red on it. It was more simplistic. They brought back the full cowl, which I do admit. I'm kind of a little salty, though, because, like, originally in the Season 6 poster, you had Elongated Man, but they removed him after the controversies came out for him, so they removed it. So it kind of feels a little bit weird, mind you, it really does. Although this is like kind of like the first season where I was like thinking to myself, okay, like, it's good, but it's like, what are you doing? Also, like, apparently in terms of special features, you only get one, and then the bloopers. This is the end of the special features era. This was the end, which I was like, I didn't even watch the DVDs for that. I just like owning them, like, a colorful, like, piece of plastic on my shelf. But I'm just like, come on, like, you can't really, you can't keep that up. You can't keep that up. I know, so this was the first season not to have 23 episodes since the pandemic happened at this time period. So I believe they only got to manage to produce 17 or 18 around that mark. So I'm like, they cut it short a little bit. So you assume there would be more space for more special features, but they didn't. So I was like, okay, there's not much you can do about that. Now, going into Season 7, where I think, mind you, just in, like, this is, like, then the first time that we got to see a full, like, body shot. I think, personally, like, I could be wrong, though, even though, like, I think, yeah, I'm right about that. Where, like, normally it's just been, like, of all the 6 seasons so far, it's just been a certain angle. It's been just, like, a certain, like, just a close-up body shot or just a unique body shot. You don't get to see the full body. Where, like, I know, like, I think going into Season 7, personal note, where I remember that the actor Grant Gustin was a little bit more body confident, shy of his own body, considering the fact he was super skinny, or just, like, moderately skinny throughout the entire 6-season run. And, obviously, people just saying, oh, comic book characters need to be buff, they need to have muscle, they need to have bicep. And, just in general, I think he was, especially when Season 5 came out, like, because how very thin that suit was, I think people, like, were starting to criticize him a little bit more so. So, as Retribution, he got, like, jacked. Well, he got jacked, but yeah, he got toned. And, like, you see it in the Season 7 costume where, like, he actually, like, gained a little bit of muscle, which I'm like, honestly, that's really cool. He didn't have to do that. I wasn't complaining. I never complained about that. I let the performance speak for itself. But kudos to him for actually doing so. Sadly for this season, though, they're, like, just in a... Season 7 was just... that was not that great. For me personally, it was not great. Like, it's not Season 5 bad, it's just not that great. It really isn't. It's just, I think certain elements make it a little bit more better, so, this was, like, during the time of, no, this was after Crisis on Infinite Earth, so this was the first season where, like, and where, like, we're not doing the crossovers anymore. Like, the big event crossovers, they're done. Crisis Infinite Earths, that was the last one. Again, COVID kind of prevented them from doing more. So, like, this was, like, fully independent, fully, like, a straight run, no outside forces. They're just telling their own season, their own, like, storyline, and that's if and it. So, but yeah, I really like this poster. I really, really do. I like the emblem. I like the suit. The colors on this was, like, more popping. Shout out to Grant Gustin for working on, like, making him, like, filling out more of the suit, which makes him make these types of shots more, like, more appealing, mind you. It made it more, like, dynamic, more bold. Now going into Season 8, so, which I'm just like, okay, now what am I going to complain about? What my face already. What am I going to complain about? We'll start off with the basics. I am not a big fan of just the shot they use. Like, I remember when this poster came out, this came after Armageddon, and I'm just like, why? And they made another version with the full cowl, but it was also with the other character. I'm like, I would have taken that. I would have, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, we'll do that, fine. We'll accept it. I'll talk more about the shot later. In a bit. I'll really wreck into them. You know, this was a season where they got the gold boost. They did their first faux crossover event with like having more actors from the other shows that were wrapped up already to come in and play around with them for a little bit. That was kind of cool to see. Just in general, again, like exploring this like true new era, the final time of the Arrowverse, where like they were just doing their own thing. They were just super independent, mind you, and that was just like that was cool. This was a much better season than last season, and I'm just like, I was really impressed by it. You know, and the gold boots really like, finally we have a complete Flash costume. Finally, after so many years, where we finally got into it. But like those posters, it's like, nah, man, nah. I held out on this one. Like this one was like, I think I want to say, I forget how much I spend on this. I want to say I eventually coughed the bullet and paid like, you know, a reasonable $15. Like, so my standards is like, I'll pay, like before, like, you know, obviously right now, like finding a TV show that's on sale for $10 new is like very, very rare. So I accepted like, okay, I'm never going to get $10 DVDs anymore. But I'm only going to pay $1 an episode as long as the quality is consistent. And finally, we have the final season, the 9th season of The Flash, which is this, and I'm just like, no. Okay, I don't want to. I never want to be mean, but trust me, I'm gonna destroy them in the next one. I'm gonna destroy them. But for now, it's just like, why couldn't you just make the Flash running with the posters? Just like, why couldn't you make that just the last shot? Why? Like, this was perfectly able to fill the whole screen. And you just combine okay, I understand, you know, it's like Team Flash. I get that. It's Team Flash. But I feel like this was the show where like the whole like superheroes need to have a consistent team. That trend, that shtick got old really, really fast. It really did. And I'm like, you know, especially when Cisco left, especially when like, you know, Caitlin as a character became so split off to kind of keep the character interesting, since besides Barry and Iris, you know, and Joe, like those were she was like one of the last OGs left to still be on board. Like, how do we keep that character consistent? And I'm just like, oh boy. And all the new characters they added, which I'm like, they're not bad. They really are not. But I'm just like, come on. Like, it's the Flash. I'm very critical. I really, really am. Like, I know there are posters of other CW show where it's a full cast shot. I understand that. I really do. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm like, come on. It's just like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm being very critical about this. I really am. But it's just like, can we just keep this simple as just the Flash? Couldn't we really? Also, this was the first season to have like this weird, like, you know, this is the last season actually, to have this weird open symbol in the box with the barcode, like I guess the UPC code for like, you know, the for the machine, which I'm like, that's kind of weird. Couldn't you have printed out were you really gonna say cardboard space with this? I mean, like, okay. Mind you, also, this is the only season that does this, because the other seasons they open from this side. So when I got this, it's like, no, like, okay, that's a really nitpick for me, and that's like the biggest nitpick. It really is. But mind you, I'm just like, they could have done things better. They really could have. And I'm just like, I know they're just trying to wrap up this era. I understand that, but I'm like, there are fans like me who has been to collecting these since the beginning. At least ended the same way you began them. Now it's just like, you know, it's one of those like, you know, very minute nitpicks that, you know, I'll forever complain about for myself for the rest of my days. Just for the rest of my days till the day I die. When will that be? I really don't know. But I'll probably tell my kids about it. So when they look at this, like, Daddy, why is this so different? I'm like, kids, I gotta sit you down and, like, you know, make you understand the craziness that is your father. Now, you can purchase all 9 of these seasons. I think they're on Amazon. You can also check any local mom and pop DVD stores. They might have them still in stock. But the one thing that I have to admit out of all this is the complete series. Obviously, you can now purchase all 9 seasons in one mega collector's pack. And I was actually so excited. I was really, you know, obviously Batwoman and Black Lightning did not get their own complete series. They were just too small to warrant it, which is fair. But I'm like, okay, the Flash one is going to look cool. It's going to be so dynamic. It's going to be great. Then it came out, and I'm just like, what the fuck? No. No. Okay. Look at the Arrow one. Such a cool shot. Just Arrow, Green Arrow himself, Stephen Amell in his full glory. Supergirl's complete series. Very dynamic, very bold. Just Supergirl. Okay, Legends. Okay, yeah, you have BMO. I get that, but like, you know, I was still just like, okay, BMO like was the mascot for the show. Okay, I make that exception. But the Flash should have just been the Flash. Why is modern Team Flash on there? Why? Let's be honest. If you're picking a cover for your definitive, the whole series, this one picture is gonna capture the entire like consistent track of all the seasons. You pick the one from season 8 that had characters that weren't introduced till halfway after the show came out. This is characters that were introduced in the second half. They have no valuable, like, you don't even have Cisco on there. What? Not even a Cisco. And like, before you tell me, oh, they were just limited on posters, like, bruh, the first 4 years of the Flash has some of the coolest poster design in history. And I know they weren't going to use that. I knew they were going to use one of the final, like, you know, suit posters. I knew that. But there were so many poses, so many epic posters you could have used. I can list them all. I can show you all of them right here. That would have made a better cover for this complete series box set. And they use this. I would have even taken just the Cowl Season 8 Barry look by itself. I would have taken that. It would have been a little bit boring. It wouldn't have been dynamic, but I would have taken it. But the fact that they use this, as the shot, is just no. No. I feel like, no. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean to the supporting cast. I'm really not. They help make the show too. They're part of the show too. They're a vital part of it. But it's just like, the show is called The Flash. This is not called Team Flash. This isn't it. It's not called Team Flash. It's called The Flash. I want to just see The Flash. Because if I'm a casual person and I'm just looking at this box set, I'm like, I expect all these characters to be there in episode 1 throughout the final episode 100 something. And they're not there. For me, it's like, that's kind of misleading, mind you. Like, you know, like, a little bit. Like, you could technically warrant that, like, as misleading. Because they're not there. They're not. And I will forever hold that statement. So, it kind of sucks that, like, you know, the trinity of the complete series box sets for the Arrowverse is forever tainted. Do better, Warner Bros. Do better. But for now, just to, like, you know, kind of, like, end it on, like, a much more positive note, I'm very happy that this is, you know, all 9 seasons are in my hands. It sucks that the show's over. It really does. But, of course, you know, the show kind of lost its footing after a while. It kind of has been sputtering around a little bit, somehow, like, keeping itself going. And rather than, like, you know, maybe even end it even worse than, you know, some people might say they did in Season 9 with a Season 10, you know, managing to, like, everyone is on board. We're ending it here. This is the last run. This is the last arc. Okay. If that is what it is, you know what? I accept it. I accept that to be the conclusion. And, you know, all 9 seasons have their own unique box arts, their own unique styles, and, you know, definitely having them all in my eye, my peripheral view, that's going to be on my shelf for the, I guess, for the rest of my days until I move eventually, it's gonna be nice to look at. It looks nice together. It looks really nice. Let me know in the comments below, do you have the entire Flash on DVD or Blu-ray, the whole series so far? Let me know down below if you do. I would love to have a conversation with you about them. And just, you know, join me in my hatred of the complete series artwork as well as Season 2 and 3 box style. I would love to have a conversation down below about that. But if you're unaware, this has been Joe here from The Collection Compass. If you want to see more cool videos like this one, please subscribe to us here on The Collection Compass for more awesome videos just like this one. Like, share, if you haven't yet, ring the bell for notification when our next videos are live. Follow us on social media. But, of course, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other, and as always, peace out.